There's a full moon and there's a smell of burning in the air, which will be the hills near Cumbernauld. That's how much diesel we've got. Is that enough to get in Edinburgh? Aye. This gauge is funny, but now it's up to like quarter. So I think hello and welcome to the channel. I just seen a guy walking his dog there, and he looked pretty, I think he was pissed, sort of staggering a bit, and I was just thinking, because I've been watching these scary bear attacks and how, so we live in a benign environment here in Scotland, in Great Britain. It's safe, you know, you go out and wander around, you're not going to get attacked by a bear, but equally the danger, like, why would you don't take for granted your safety, you know, if you get attacked by a person, you know. So the other thing I want to talk about is the green thing. I'm always going on about that, aren't I? Yeah, look, oh, there's a push bike there. What's it doing sitting there? Somebody's push bike. So you think, oh, I'll pick that up and I'll sell that, but then you think, well, it could be some bairns, you know, that's just left it from round the corner. So you think, oh, well, you hope that they can come and pick it up or something. Or maybe somebody's taking it just for a recycle. But on the other hand, you sort of get them, they do kind of get abandoned, like push bikes. I have seen them abandoned quite a bit, yeah, just dumped. They've probably got a new one or something, they just don't care about it anymore. So push bikes are funny because you don't want to be taking advantage of somebody, but at the same time, if it's just left there, again in the way, it's got to have to be picked up by someone and taken away, you know, so it's one of these things. But yeah, so the green thing. So what happened was, when I got my log burner, I had complaints from my neighbour, my numpty neighbour next door. That's not the nice neighbours, it's a numpty neighbour, and that's what I call him now. I don't even like him, I don't even talk to him, because I realised how much of a numpty he was. But you have to have standards of some kind, and some people cross the line and then often there's no way going back from it, but well, there isn't, because you've just got the total feel for what they're like, and then there's no way you can really get on with them. Anyway, so there's complaints about a log burner. This is part of the green kind of thing, that a neighbour can phone up and report somebody for, you know, smoke coming out your chimney. So obviously in the past they would have got told to F off in the past, but now we've got these communists in the local council. So you can't just go, oh, just ignore it, because they have powers. And they can put a abatement order on your property. All sorts of powers they've got, and annoying things. Unless you enjoy a fight, then, you know, it's better just to... So anyway, right, so I kind of sorted it out, got the councillor to sort it out, to tell them to F off, because they were being... they were discriminating against me, right? That was the real bottom line. So that worked, and then what I realised, maybe try not to annoy people, things. Anyway, get to the fucking point. Right, so I've just come out, and the place is full of fucking smoke, and it's from wildfires in Cumbernauld, because we live not that far from there, so it depends which direction the wind's going. Right, so that's the stupidity of this green shit, that we're going to have people paranoid about burning a fire for the smoke, and then we've got the whole place full of smoke, and then we've also had the battery storage facility catching fire, and these types of fires. And so, you know, so when they do their little wee emissions calculations and come away with the bullshit, do they take into account? So wildfires are normal, but the persecution that the farmers get now, so they would at one time done a controlled wildfire, but now farmers get fined, persecuted by the government on this green numpty legislation. So now the place is full of fucking smoke. So what I'm getting at is the difference between somebody burning a log burner and the amount of smoke coming off this wildfire, or worse, obviously, because the smoke coming off the fire in the fields is natural and it'll improve the ground, the nutrients and everything like that, and it'll replicate itself, which is why log burners are sustainable. There's another word, I forgot it, but so that's why they're sustainable. And so but the lithium fires, that is horrible, that's toxic, that is not to be compared whatsoever. I reckon one of these batteries, like that fire in Kilwinning, would probably amount to a whole lifetime of the emissions from my vehicles, probably. I don't know what the calculation would be. It'd be something like that. It'd be like a whole lifetime of me driving around, my carbon footprint in like 80 years of travelling and driving, because, well, no, I think God knows what the calculation is with that. It's absolutely insane. So then you've got Patrick Harvey. Let's get to the point here. So he's retired? Horrible little bastard, right? So I watched a video of him, and he's saying, oh, we've got some new people coming in with some new ideas, and that just says it all, doesn't it? New ideas. And what are these people, like, am I sounding naive? Say, we don't need new ideas, we just need you to fuck off and die, right? Because that's what he wants us to do. That's what green policies really are. They just want you to die. That's what they want. Green policies. It's anti-human policies. But all these restrictions, you can't light a fire, you can't drive a car. So, these are real, and that they are doing these things. And they've gotten so far in Scotland. Greensmouth's been shut down. And then, this is a weird thing, somebody was posting on Facebook about this, about how England, how they're saving their plant, Scunthorpe, British Steel. There's a problem in Scotland because Tony Blair gave us devolution and gave us Holyrood. So the people of Scotland are being persecuted more because they've got this parliament, so-called parliament, and in a lot of ways, this is an example of how we would have more rights or more of a shout if we had the Scottish office rather than Holyrood. Because then Westminster goes and says, what's fuck all to do with us, you sort it out, it's your problem. Because you've got Holyrood, and you've got like Sir Patrick Harvey in it. And that was because the Greens, well, the SNP have been getting backed up by the Greens. That's why we've got all these anti-human policies persecuting us. That's why we've got all these. The 20 zones and clean air zones. And but I mean, obviously England and Wales have their own variation and all that shit. But they're anti-human. They don't want us doing. They don't want me doing what I'm doing right now. It's going out to recycle stuff, and that's why I have to drive this vehicle with the stuff in it, right? It's not because it's a laugh or anything like that. M9 closed 6 AM. I can smell the smoke here. Oh, I can smell it. It smells nice actually. So all these things, it's all natural, and then they're unnatural. Politicians are unnatural, and and Police Scotland are a corrupt organisation who have been, and I know that because of the 20 zones. That's why I believe they're a corrupt organisation. 20 zones. Because that's unlawful. It's a scam against the people. It's not a real law. And it said the sign says 20 and it's got a red right thing round it, and people think that that is absolutely that, and that's what that means, and that's an example of the corruption against us when they can actually misuse legislation to put signs up that are unenforceable. That's what they've done. And Police Scotland are lying about it and being sneaky about it, and people don't like breaking the law because people like to follow the laws and the rules. So that's why they'll end up arguing with me when I say that these are unenforceable, because they can't accept that they've been scammed by their own police force and government. I wasn't really intending doing this video like this. I just obviously think about things occasionally. It's somewhere about 1:20 in the morning. We'll be in. I haven't got the diesel heater on because fuel's a bit on the low side, although I don't think it uses a lot, but really I need to get the thing filled up. Yeah. So I hope you enjoyed that video. I think we'll just end it at that little but we could pause it. Why don't you just pause it? Aye, okay, we'll just pause it. Good idea. Pause it. That's us heading towards the Kelpies. Looks fairly busy for a fairly busy night. 1:30 in the morning sort of thing. Reminds me, it would be a good idea to get the clock set in this van. You've had it for how many years? Coming towards the Kelpies now, some trucks. A bit of truck spotting going on. So the net zero thing is complete and utter bullshit. Oh my. Because it doesn't do anything. That's why. Actually, it makes things worse. Actually, yeah. Making all that stuff in China, it's fucking insane. There's nobody with any common sense would believe that shit. It's all like virtue signaling nonsense. Some pretty weird smells the night. Honestly, it's like I'll be smelling. What the hell is that smell? You know, there's a lot of stuff in the atmosphere. I think it's just the wildfires. Yeah, some pretty weird smells. I think we probably will move on from all that stupidity. They're still milking us. It's going to take a long time for us to recover the true cost of it. It's not really a cost that's going to really affect me that much because I'll be gone, you know, within the next 20 to 30 years. Well, yeah, certainly, of course. You know, so it's not a big problem for me. It's a more problem for my granddaughter and my children. My children don't speak. Well, let's not start on them. Fuck. The gaming generation. Nearly at the West Lothian border. was a guy in GB News tonight going on about AdBlue. He's been interviewed, he's a van driver, and he was comparing the cost of AdBlue, how it's went up. So really what we're talking about is vehicles that are ULEZ compliant. So it's a diesel, it's got AdBlue. So he's having to pay £30 for this tub of AdBlue. And he was talking about the mathematical comparison with paying the actual ULEZ. Well, in Scotland it's a fine, but in London it's a ULEZ charge. It's like AdBlue, I've nothing to do with that shit. They shouldn't have, that diesel, the problems with diesel engines, that's why I'm not touching any of them. I'm not buying anything from about 2014 onwards. It all depends, you have to watch which one you buy. You can avoid it, I think, some models, but you have to know what you're doing. What is all this? I thought I was looking at roadworks, but no, I'm not. Or maybe I am. Maybe we are looking at roadworks up ahead. We've got an Arctic overtaking us. No, it's Graham's butter. Graham's butter. Why? I can't even explain that AdBlue DPF shit, but I'll try. Well, because I don't have obviously I'm not an engineer, or like Neil would be able to explain it, but it would be sort of difficult to follow because you'd explain it fully, and when he starts explaining things fully I usually switch off. But basically it captures, I think it captures diesel emissions from the fuel, and it kind of captures them in this big like container in the engine and does something to it, and I think it's fundamentally flawed. It's a fundamentally flawed idea that they shouldn't have done, so it could be very unreliable and problematic. You can have no end of trouble with it, constantly in the garage. And A720's closed after Dreghorn. Oh well, that's okay. Not like last week when it was closed. The whole fucking bypass was closed. I couldn't even go on it. Called their interchange, but never mind. Right, so what's that to say? The town slowed down. Fuck off. Fuck off, his shit. Town slowed down. Fuck you. Anyway, so it captures its suit, and it's in this thing, and I think it. Oh Jesus fuck. AdBlue. So that's why I stopped buying Citroens. I bought, not because they're Citroens, but because they've got that shit in them, the diesel. So, and then your alternative petrol engine, it's got a fucking wet belt. Ford, Peugeot, Citroen, I think they use it. Fucking 1.2 wet belt. Which, even when you follow the servicing schedule, they still fuck up. So it's like, alright, no thanks. This thing's 30 years old and it's reliable, but it needs to get some diesel in it. Yeah, it's quite busy. Hey, it must be heading towards 2 o'clock. Yeah, 2 AM. So the nasty greens are after getting this blanket 50 miles per hour speed limit. God, yeah, it's nuts, isn't it? They'll probably get it as well. The nutty greens. So the SNP in Scotland, even though the coalition with the Greens ceased to be, they are still the tail wagging the dog, if you like, which is an example of why. What the fuck? What are they doing? Which is why these devolution didn't work. It's just more persecution. It's less freedom, more persecution. So now on the M8. Now what does this say? Closed after Dreadcon, yeah, that's not a problem. It's not going to affect me. We need to get in, get some diesel. The gauge is right down to empty now. What the hell was that on the road? So we're heading in towards Hermiston Gate.